right, hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. Just kind of a little bit of shooting there. I'm shooting the M1 carbine, but that is not why you tuned in today. I actually just had this out. It's an inland version. Just kind of want to test the waters with a little bit of older firearms. Obviously they've been out for a while. This one about 7 years, from 1944. So if you guys want to see a little bit of those older firearms, I have an old Cr920, a Garand, a couple old PBKs, this carbine here, just a couple older firearms if you guys kind of want to see those. But the video I have today for you is one that's a little bit overdue. I'm a little bit late getting to it. It's been really busy. That's my excuse every time, so just take it with a grain of salt. So today we are shooting the standard Cr920 and the somewhat recently released Cr920p. So this isn't going to be an in-depth review on either because I have that on both of these firearms. You can check in on my channel. So I'm just going to give you kind of my comparison shooting them back to back. I really haven't done that, so today I figured I'd take them both out, shoot them back to back, and give you my opinion and let you know if I think it's worth upgrading to the P, if it's, you know, fine sticking with the Cr920, or if you're looking to purchase either, which one I'd prefer. So stay tuned, let's do a little shooting. Okay, first off, let's run a few rounds to the Cr920. I've had this firearm for a couple of years now, pretty much since it came out. It's pretty much always in my rotation to carry. If not, I probably carried about 80% of the time. So enough talking, let's do a little shooting. All right, smooth shooter, as I mentioned before in my previous review videos on it. I've never had a problem with shooting. Now let's run the Cr920p and see how much of a difference the compensator makes. Well, I can say shooting back to back, it definitely makes a difference. Trying to explain this, it's not like the standard 920 has a lot of kick to it, because it really doesn't. I mentioned that before. I think it shoots more like a full-size platform than a subcompact. But I will say when I get the 920p, it's just a lot softer feel. The biggest thing I notice actually is just dropping back on target. It's a lot quicker, which obviously that's what they're going for. A lot of people might think it's gimmicky, but I had this experience with a Hellcat RDP as well. They definitely make a difference, and a lot of people say that it won't, but if you think about it, on a smaller platform such as this, when you do have a lot more muzzle flip than you would on a full size, I believe a compensator is going to make a difference, and in my opinion it does. So let's keep running a few more rounds through. I don't want to kind of give you my yay or nay, which one's worth purchasing, which one's not. Let's keep running a few rounds. Guys, so that was a back-to-back with the Cr920p and the Cr920. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not going to go super in-depth just because I did that in previous videos, and I know my videos get a little bit redundant, and I want to kind of keep things fresh. So my final thoughts shooting back-to-back, the Cr920p is 100% a smoother shooter. You don't have to believe me, but I guarantee you it is. Shooting back-to-back, this is much flatter shooting. Much less recoil, much less muzzle flip. As far as everything else goes, the gun is identical. The only thing it has is the compensator, which is on a tri-lug system, not a threaded barrel. Excuse me. It is extremely hot here from Minnesota, and you know, we don't like our heat. We're used to our cold, so bear with me. And then there's some serrations on the top of the slide, just a little bit more aggressive look. Other than that, it is identical to the Cr920. So that being said, I've always preached that a Cr920 is great. I've always thought it was one of the best shooting handguns for its size that is available right now in the market. And again, Shadow's not helping me out with anything, so some people think that that's the case, and it's not. So between the two, I think I've seen a few right around $600 for a standard Cr920, and the Cr920p being pretty new, you may be able to find it low 8s, maybe super upper 7s, I'm not sure. I got this one for about $870. So it's about a couple $100 difference. So if you're a little bit more not worrying about one being extremely flat or just a lot better than the other, I think the Cr920, as always, is a great option. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more unique and you do worry about muzzle flip with a smaller platform like this, I would 100% go with Cr920p. It makes a noticeable difference, especially shooting back to back. You may not notice the compensator when you've only shot the Cr920 and you go to shoot the P much later on. You just think, oh, okay, it shoots similar. But shooting back to back, I assure you, the P shoots noticeably better. That being said, the accuracy with the Cr920 and the follow-up shots aren't really an issue. So if you're somewhat experienced shooting, you're not really gonna have a problem shooting a Cr920, because in my opinion, it's one of the best shooting subcompact firearms you can get right now. So the Cr920p just adds to that. It just pounds that home that, you know, this, in my opinion, is one of the best options out there. That's why I carry them about 80-90% of the time. I know in my video I had a little bit of issue with reliability on the Cr920p, and I believe I'm just going to chalk that up to ammo, because I got about 400 rounds through it now, and I've never had a problem since. So they're both extremely reliable, so I wouldn't have a problem there. But yeah, I mean, if you want to spend a little bit more, you want something a little bit more unique, a little aggressive, keep the muzzle flip down, the P is a great choice. But as always, the standard Cr920 just doesn't fail to impress me. And even when stacked up against something with a compensator, yeah, it's noticeable, but in my opinion, not enough for it to be just absolutely game-changing. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.